Hello, everyone. This is Jennifer Yarbrough, and I want to welcome you to my podcast, Nonprofit Nuggets, by, of course, myself, Jennifer Yarbrough. I am a nonprofit professional with over 30 years of experience. I am a grant writer, a grant researcher, a grant reviewer. I help nonprofit leaders not only start their nonprofits, but put together the systems, the tools, the strategies that they need to fundraise for, to get partners, collaborators, and donors so that their work can be supported on an ongoing basis. I'm big on sustainability, guys. So I want to welcome you to my podcast. Listen, I am now beginning a series where I am discussing the elements of the nonprofit, the essential elements of a nonprofit. I can tell you that I work with leaders each and every day who are super passionate, driven by starting their nonprofits based upon their passion. I'm all about putting your perspective to your passion, and let's get us a plan. All right. Let's put our passion in perspective and get us a ding dang plan. When we are talking about the elements of starting your nonprofit, I want to focus on this particular podcast. What are the essential elements? The first element is, guys, how are we going to monetize? How are we going to fundraise for? How are we going to support this work? The how is answered when we know the what. What is it that we're going to be doing? Are we serving the homeless, the veterans, children, the youth? What is our audience? And what is then the need of this particular audience? What do they need in order to be whole? Okay. So we have identified an audience. We now recognize and we know the legitimate need that they have. Guys, I speak all the time about understanding the difference between activity and impact. Activity and impact. One of the things that I want us to know is that when we're talking about the activity, what is the activity? Our activity is, Jen, we need to feed, we need to clothe, we need to house, we need to mentor, we need to coach, we need to train, we need to intervene. Those are activities, but we want to be able to be clear about the impact, the result, the outcome of us implementing these particular activities, okay? Funding comes to our nonprofits to support those activities that lead to an impact. Let me say that again. Funds come to support our activities that lead to a result, an impact, okay? Activity is not impact. Activity is not impact. So I want you all to know that when we are deciding about starting our nonprofit, we've got our passion, we are moved, we are burdened, we are excited. Listen, I've been there. I understand the passion that drives, but listen, it's not the passion that monetizes, okay? The passion has to lead to a plan. When you are starting your nonprofit organization, the first element of your nonprofit is, what are the funding needs of this organization? So we have staff, we possibly have office space, possibly we have computers, we have a budget. We have a budget that comprises all of the things that it is going to take for us to implement our program and to provide organizational oversight. A lot of people that I meet are driven by their passion, and they believe that their passion, the activities that they do, is all that they have to manage. We've also got to manage an organization, guys. When you are submitting your EIN or your articles of incorporation, that goes to your organization. That means you have yourself as the executive director or the CEO. You've now got your board in place that are there to help you oversee the funds that are coming into your organization, making sure that you are staying on mission and that you are being good stewards of the public's dollars. That lies within the realm of your organization. So when you are thinking about starting your nonprofit, and that goes beyond getting a piece of paper that gives you the status or your number, this speaks to your ability to understand what are the financial requirements to not only begin this process of your nonprofit, but what is it going to take on an ongoing basis? I speak every day about a sustainability plan. Your sustainability plan talks about your vision, your partners, your collaborators, Who is going to be involved to ensure that you have the financial support, that you have the community support, that you have the partnership and the collaborative support to make sure and ensure that you can deliver those program activities every single day for that audience that is your target. Now it's important to note, guys, that your target audience is not the ones that are providing the financial support to your organization, right? They are disenfranchised. They themselves are having struggles. And so they don't have the funds that are needed to support your organization on an ongoing basis. So when you start your organization, you're thinking about salaries, you're thinking about expenses, direct expenses, indirect costs. You are thinking about what is it going to take to run my organization for the first year, going into the second year? How are we going to financially position ourselves so that we can deliver the program activities? What are the services, the systems, the materials, the supplies that are needed for us to deliver those activities? All right. And how then are we going to structure the revenue generating activity to make sure that we have the funds in place to do this work? All right. To do this work. Guys, I'm super excited that the elements of your nonprofit are many. Today, we're talking about your business, your monetization for your program. In the next podcast, guys, we're going to talk about partners, collaborators, and supporters. That is going to be in our next podcast. I hope that you will join me. If in fact this is of value to you, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your comments. You can find me on Facebook. I have a group on Facebook also called NonProfit Nuggets. I invite you to go to my website, www.jdyarbrough.com. One of the most important element of starting your nonprofit is understanding the finances. Understanding where and how those finances are going to come in. This is going to become more and more clear in the upcoming podcast. So I hope that you will follow. I hope that you will listen. I hope that you will share with others as we talk about the money. Everybody talks to me about the money. Jen, I need a grant. Jen, I need sponsors. Jen, I need to increase my donor file. Jen, who is it that can be, or who is it that will support and sponsor my program? Everybody wants to know about the money, right? But where is the money going is key. What are those funds being used on? And based upon what those funds are being used on for, we want to know what then is the impact of those funds being used in that particular area. Guys, this is a very, very important discussion. And I hope that as you surround yourself with people who are on your board, collaborators, volunteers, those people that you will get to know in your community, you will get to know the people in your community who are interested, passionate, have some influence or experience with the audience that you want to serve, and how could they potentially support you financially, in kind, or to be a voice of influence in the community to draw attention to what you do. Everything needs money, guys. Money is not our issue. This is a $3.3 trillion industry. What I say is that if we put together the right strategic plan, the right financial plan, the right understanding of what are the costs and the expenses associated with running and delivering our program activities, we then have an opportunity to mine that gap. The gap of service, the gap of resource, the gap of partners and collaborations to make sure that we are positioned in our community to articulate impact, and to articulate value, articulate success, and how that success impacts the community at large. Guys, thank you again for joining Nonprofit Nuggets by Jennifer Yarbrough, my podcast. I'm super excited about this series where I am going to be again talking about all of the elements of the nonprofit. As you build, as you grow, as you expand, as you fundraise successfully as you get more partners and collaborators for the great work that you do, I am so happy to be able to impart these nuggets to you to help you do that well. Again, I am Jennifer Yarbrough. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next podcast where we'll be talking about partners, collaborators, and supporters as essential elements to your nonprofit success. I'll see you then, guys. Blessings.